I'm thinking that, and then you caught it. So yes. So tonight we are not going to dive into a specific training topic. Rather, we really want to speak to what is happening in each of your hearts that can directly tie back to what Isagenix provides. And that could be a whole list of different things. And this journey looks different for every single one of us. But what I want to truly start out with is a reminder for those of you who are listening right now and those who are going to watch this recording that you are so valuable to this team and this community, Isagenix as a whole, but specifically this little family that we are growing, that I see really growing into a thriving community of people who are all different in the way that we express what we're here on this earth to do. But the common denominator is we all see something in that journey for ourselves that Isagenix can provide or can be a part of. And I think that what yesterday, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday, we had an event here in Phoenix. It's the Powerhouse Women event. And it really showed me the power of community and how one of the big themes of the day is no one of us is equipped to do this alone. And that truly could not be more true about network marketing. Each person of this community, of our Best Life little fam, brings something so unique to the table. So in case you haven't heard it in a while, or there's any part of you that wasn't connected to that coming into the call tonight, you matter in such a deep and profound way. You make a difference in this community in a way that no one else can, and your voice makes a real difference. However you want to show up and be a part of this that we're creating, we want it. And no, don't ever for a second feel like the way you participate in this space doesn't make a difference, because we need it all. So those of you who were at the event, which is myself and Chip and Mary, just even takeaways, something you took away that you really see relates to this journey of Isagenix. And I started out the call by saying before we recorded, I'll just preface it with this. I think anytime I go to a general personal development event, it just reinforces my belief and my passion for network marketing. So ladies, anything that's right there on your heart to share that you took away just from the experience being there?
I mean, just to be open and honest with your intentions. I don't think there's any reason to have people need to cut through red tape to understand what you're about and what you're trying to project. So if you want to build a community like we experienced yesterday within Isagenix, tell people that. You don't have to project it all over your social media if you don't want to, but don't go a day without speaking into your passion. And if network marketing is your passion, or helping people is your passion, and network marketing as in Isagenix is your vehicle, talk about it. Tell people, get people excited about your vision and your goals and what you want to create in this world and what you want to give back.
So good. And you do that. That's something you uniquely have brought to my life, and that I want to keep sharing with the community, is you're just so black and white. There's no weirdness around sharing network marketing. And it's really given me so much permission and had me kind of look at where I still make it weird for people. Just listening to you has been such an inspiration to me, and understanding how you're setting up these conversations. So I love that you shared that.
Also, I got to give Lori Harder a ride to the airport yesterday, and that was
no big deal. We're just a normal day.
Security detail duties, it was pretty neat.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about that yet, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Chip, anything you wanted to add? You definitely do not have to, but would love to hear your voice. Oh, I can't hear you. I know, and I don't understand Zoom or technology at all. Sometimes it's just the microphone is not enabled, which if you're on a phone, typically there's like an option to the bottom left, or you can just type it in the comments once we post the replay for tonight. No worries whatsoever.
Or you can mime.
You could mime, but we feel your heart. And I'm so happy that you're here tonight. You just bring such joy. That's what you are to me, is like when you walk in a room, it's like the sun walks in with you. And such a big contribution.
I would agree, having met you yesterday and interacted with you yesterday, your smile and personality are bright as the sun.
So here's what I want to do as a little kickoff, and those of you watching at home on the replay, I want everyone to go ahead and grab a writing utensil, grab something to write with. You can use the notes section on your phone if you just have that available. Card will totally do. Everyone have something? Okay, cool. So this is a words are still hard. My brain is literally fried. This is an exercise we did at the event, and I actually learned this at a Lululemon event, and I use it nonstop now. And what it is a way for us to break out of what we see as possible for ourselves and our life. And then obviously we're going to tie this right back into the future and where we're going this fall, specifically over the next 90 days with Isagenix. But I just am going to give everyone maybe a minute to do a little writing exercise. And the exercise even has a cool name. It's called Unicorn Brainstorming. And this is really a powerful use of taking our imagination, which I don't know about you, but for me, like even if I'm about to get on a call, sometimes I'll think about like the worst case scenario or the people that I'm about to call, like thinking I'm a weirdo or not being interested. So my imagination goes to like crazy town, not empowering me whatsoever or having me go into this conversation connected to what Isagenix could provide. Instead, I go to like the worst possible case scenario. Anyone else like notice your imagination kind of likes to do that to you? Yeah. So, if you've done Healthy Mind and Body, if you've, done personal development, there's a lot of talk around just the power of our mind and our imagination, but we have to harness it for good. We have to be intentional with how we use it. So unicorn brainstorming is as simple as answering this question and not filtering your responses. So the question, or it's not a question, it's like a prompt. So fill in the blank. And it starts with just these words. Wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if I qualified for the trip to Peru? Wouldn't it be cool if tomorrow I wake up and I connect with my next biggest business builder? Wouldn't it be cool if Oprah Winfrey called me up, asked me to go to lunch, and she's like, oh, by the way, is it cool if Kate Middleton comes too? Like, wouldn't it be cool if is literally no limits. So I want you to take just 1 minute and I want you to write down those words. Wouldn't it be cool if? And I want you to think about your life and literally dream as big as your mind will let you go. I want you to write at least one down that makes you like giggle. It's so ridiculous. Wouldn't it be cool if I got to sing on stage and not get shy, is what Chip just wrote. That would be cool. Okay, so, and I'm going to do this too. 60 seconds starts now. And just imagine there's like lovely music playing in the background. Okay, just take like 5 more seconds and wrap up the one you were just writing. My intention is that this is just a starting off point, and I want you to actually, over the next, either it's tonight or sometime in the next week, I would challenge you, take 30 minutes, turn your phone on airplane mode, sit somewhere that inspires you, and don't stop writing until, like, set a timer for whatever time you can dedicate, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And I don't know, did anyone else notice that you start with things that are like kind of already within the realm of possibility? But did anyone go like really obnoxious with your wouldn't it be cool ifs? Mary's laughing.
I said, wouldn't it be cool if Lori Harder asked me to be security at her next big event?
Not that far-fetched, really.
Not at all.
I love that. Lauren, you were laughing too. What did you have that was crazy?
Well, I had two that I kind of went nuts on. One, the funny one was, wouldn't it be cool if I could renovate a house with Chip and Jo? That's like my dream.
Did you have, you had two. What was the other one?
My big one was, my number one actually was, it would be cool if I could retire my husband.
Yeah.
I went like big real quick.
And I love that, right? Being able just to tap into the big ones. Jen, did you have anything really juicy that came out?
I guess I hadn't thought about this before ever as a goal, but it just came out. And then when I reverse engineered it around my other goals, it's like exactly the goal I didn't write, but I should have. Would it be cool if we donated $20,000 in 2019? Like as if like my husband and I together.
And like, this is the kind of stuff that came from 60 seconds of just giving your brain something to focus on that takes the blinders and the limitations off. And so I want to kind of tie it together and then hear a little bit from Jen too. We want to relate this to network marketing and what it provides. How many people in your life do you know that are having conversations like this about what's possible? Versus even thinking, could I get more time at home with my kids? And then the immediate thing that they see or what their mind goes to is all the reasons why they cannot. And so I want all of us to challenge ourselves to keep tapping into and using tools like this one, and then searching back to what does Isagenix provide that can allow me to do that? Because if you're showing up on this call tonight, you have a desire to grow yourself and probably grow your Isagenix business. Is that accurate? Like in whatever way that looks for you, truly, that's going to be different for all of us. But what can start to happen, especially if we've been around for a little while and things maybe didn't happen as quickly as we thought they would, just I guess talking personally there, then we can start to go back to what we see as possible versus keeping that cap, that lid blown way off of the possibilities that we see. And so wherever you find yourself tonight, wherever you find yourself over this next 90 days, continue to go back to this. Wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if I had the biggest breakthrough in my Isagenix business between now and December 31st? Wouldn't that be freaking cool? Jen, I know I kind of like went a little bit different than we had initially talked about creating this conversation, but how does this relate to the journey that you've personally been on? Because I know a little bit more behind the scenes of what your journey has looked like.
Sure. In terms of like thinking really big about
in terms of that, or just I think it's easy to see what someone has created and not realize that there were moments where it wasn't like you were all unicorn brainstorming, this is possible, yay, go me.
Yeah, it is. That comparison thing is tough, right? Because when I came in to Isagenix, the beautiful thing about network marketing and about this company and is that you look around and you see all these examples of people who have just killed it. And so I'm such like a big dreamer by nature. And I saw that immediately as, oh, well, if they did, I'm going to do it, which is great. But then if I didn't do it in the same way or in the same timeline, every little thing, then I felt like I would have these like, oh man, I did not do well. And I felt like I couldn't celebrate any successes. And it's something that I didn't realize was a problem for me until I saw it kept coming up over and over. And I will be honest in saying almost every goal or success that I have had, my natural instinct is to be like, oh, why didn't I do that faster? Why didn't I do that big? Why was that so hard feeling? And I have struggled with that big time. And as I've started to learn to actually see things as successes, that has made success and the wins come even faster. So that's been huge for me, to take what I see as motivation and the people who are really doing well, or, you know, whatever it may be, take that comparison and let it inspire me, but still celebrate everything that I do and every breakthrough that I have. That's been we learn over and over and over and over again, which people from the outside may or may not see. You know, someone else might look at what I do and say, oh, it's so easy for her and she's doing this so fast, or she's building such a big team, or, you know, whatever it may be. So what people are seeing and what you're seeing of yourself, it's all kind of irrelevant, right? What really matters is that you check in and you celebrate everything as a win, but at the same time are always pushing yourself towards the next goal. And that's kind of what I've learned, like kind of that stay in your lane or put the blinders on thing, soak up all the motivation, soak up the, oh, if they can do it, that means I could do it too. Then put your blinders on, stay in your lane, set that goal, and celebrate every step along the way.
Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned the comparison part, because we're naturally, as humans, wired to do that, to let our minds go there. But that starts to put the cap back on your unicorn brainstorming, doesn't it? When you're like focusing on maybe what's happened for someone else, and then it immediately leads to the thoughts of, well, what's wrong with me? What am I not doing? So just in case there is any of that in the space, you are always welcome to ask either Jen or I. We would love to have even one-on-one conversations and, you know, share like the real stuff of what the journey has looked like, because, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to remember back that far, 8 years, but just truly like how long it took me to truly like build up this community, or be able to, I love how Chip said her takeaway was, you can turn a stranger into a friend in a heartbeat. And that was tough for me at first. And I felt super awkward just starting conversations with people. So wherever you find yourself, just know, again, number one, you are so valuable here in this community. Number two, there is no limit other than the one you are putting on what is possible for yourself here and just in life. We're going to go like all motivational. But then if we were to bring it back to the basics, because real life, what it takes to build an Isagenix business is to master the art of connecting with human beings, and in your own beautiful, authentic way, connecting to what they want most. So asking ourselves the unicorn brainstorming question starts to bring up, it's kind of like a new way to get connected to something we hear about all the time, which is our why. And just kind of like be more creative and bring some fun into that. But your why is going to be what drives you. And that's after you kind of anchor into it, or what, there may be multiple layers of it. Then it's like we set that aside and it becomes all about what would be the answer to someone else's unicorn brainstorming session. And how can you start to draw parallels and see a direct link between a gift that you have, you know of, and what this could provide them. Because I promise you this, that is where having more of the bold conversations like some of the ones Mary has been having, or even I've had a whole breakthrough around it for myself recently, talking to people that actually do intimidate me, they're powerful, they seem like they already have it all together, but if I'm really listening, what it looks like on the outside and what they're experiencing in terms of where they actually want to be and where they are now, there is a gap. And when I started to listen for that, it gave me this beautiful open space to say, hey, I'd love to share something with you. Because if you start to listen to the big dreams that other people have, or help them tap into something that they might have locked that away a long time ago, that is where the Isagenix conversation can sometimes make all the difference. So where everyone is at for the most part, which is beautiful because you're all really on this journey together. And Jen and I are right there with you, in terms of where we're at in our business. We're treating this 90 days like we're starting from square one. We happen to be starting with, some experience under our belt, which will just help us go further faster. But we want you to know that we're all in this together, and we want to be hearing what's showing up for you, what you're bumping up against, where you see your next enrolling breakthrough is. Because if you can just pour your time and energy and your intention over the next 90 days into connecting in meaningful ways with people, such that in some cases, not all, it's going to lead to an Isagenix conversation, that is where not only is this way more fulfilling, way more fun, but I guarantee you more successful. Jen, did you want to say anything on that?
I'm glad you just said the word successful. So I heard something today that ties in perfectly with everything here, and I want to give a little anecdote to go with it that might be encouraging to people that are kind of wondering, like, yes, go for the bold conversation, but for some, they want like a baby step between, here and the bold conversation.
Yeah.
So what I heard today, Tim Story was being interviewed on a podcast, and he said, success is finding the need and filling it. So you can think about that in the way that Lindsay was just talking about, which is active listening. So just when you interact with people, be a good listener and have a mindset of really everybody's going to have a need or a gap, as Lindsay had phrased it, and look for how you can fill that. That's not always going to be Isagenix, but the good thing is most people eat, right? Most people want more money. Right? Most people want to be in an amazing community that lifts them up. So more often than not, that actually does fit in there nicely, but it won't always be, the gap or the need. But what I would say is that, tying to what I said before, where I sometimes can have an issue with not celebrating the wins or defining success in a way that seems always out of reach. If you start to define success as serving people, as filling needs, then there is literally zero reason that you cannot have success every single day, right? Success is not just an enrollment. But what I'm telling you is that if you wake up every day and what you're looking for is to fill people's needs and to truly pour yourself into serving and contributing, those enrollments will come in way quicker than you think they will. And that's where we can talk about language and how you position it and all that kind of thing in future calls. But as a starting point, wake up every day intent on success from the perspective of finding a need and filling it. And I'll just share, we were driving down the road the other day, and we moved into our neighborhood 2 years ago, so we're still getting to know people. And a neighbor down the street that we know the first name of, but don't know at all. Basically, they were doing a big yard project, and you could tell there were more men than wheelbarrows, so they were not being very effective. So Greg got home. Greg walked his wheelbarrow down the street and said, hey, would you like to borrow this? We're not using it right now. The next morning, I was walking by, and the guy was walking out, and he said, hey, thanks for letting us use your wheelbarrow. I said, hey, no problem. He said, hey, do you do the Isagenix? Someone told me you do the Isagenix. I want to do that.
The Isagenix.
What? I'm like, what just happened here? Just got off the phone with him and he enrolled, right? Was not on my list, was not on my radar. I was not thinking, let's loan this wheelbarrow so he can maybe know that we
get him.
Right? So the point is, success was that we saw a need, which was someone needed a wheelbarrow, and we filled it, right? And then that turned into success is he's a really busy salesman. He just needs some convenient nutrition, and his daughter is also looking to really get her health on track, right? So success then was filling that need of connecting them to good nutrition. So the point is that if you wake up every day looking to be successful by filling people's needs, and you just get quite frankly, in hyper mode with that, where can I help? Where can I help? Where can I help? Isagenix is bound to be the solution in some of those conversations and some of those kind of opportunities to help, and the enrollments and the team growing will come. So I just wanted to make that point about success is finding the need. So that's the listening, the looking, and then the filling it, which is not being afraid to step up and serve.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
okay, so I want to hear from you ladies. What are you taking away from that? What are your ahas? What's going to shift in how you're approaching this week?
Oh, I was talking over you at the beginning. Were you talking to me or were you talking to everyone?
No, I was talking to everyone else.
Okay.
Because that was huge for me. That's really cool to hear it put in that way. Lauren, what anything for you specifically?
trying to think. I feel like I've been so disconnected because of this move taking over my life, literally. But no, I mean, when Jen and I had a conversation at Celebration, it's like literally been in the back of my head since then about everybody I'm meeting and like sharing it and stuff like that. And I almost feel like I'm still afraid. Like I'm afraid of, because I'm new, right? I'm still getting to know everybody. I'm the newbie. But just like taking those baby steps and seeing where I can be giving and valuable into their lives, and then kind of putting it in there. Because I've already like talked to some of my people I work with, and I'm hearing like, oh, I need to lose weight, or oh, I'm getting married, or oh, I'm on this diet, or oh, you know, and I'm like too afraid to share what we have.
Yeah.
But just, you know, being of service to them in some way, and then slowly bringing it in. But yeah, I just love that it kind of just comes around, and is kind of what I was getting from what you were saying, Jen.
Yeah. And I think for me, I can hear so much of my own journey, different points in what you're saying. When I took the pressure off of myself, like I had to try and get somewhere with people, and just instead became like insanely curious about them and their life, and finding common ground, finding ways to contribute, like Jen was saying. If you do that, that takes the pressure off, you're more relaxed, and then you start to notice opportunities. And that doesn't mean that you even say something right away. But yeah, I would love to connect. I know one-on-one, we've been trying to do that. So text me and we'll just kind of get a little reboot going. Anyone else? I know, Chip typed in, that's right. So Chip's message was, listen, find the need, fill the need. She totally sees where you're coming from, Lauren, feeling afraid too. But yeah, get insanely curious about people, because we all are natural connectors. I know each and every one of you. Like, you freaking love people. So just keep loving people and getting really curious about who they are, what they need, what's going on in their life.
Hey, Lindsay, can I issue a little challenge, or do you have a couple more points you want to hit on?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay, so I want to issue a challenge to, there's 5 of us on the call. So the 5 of us, and then anybody who's watching this record, actually I think there's more than 5. I'm not good at toggling.
No, it's 5. Yeah, there's 5 of us.
Whoever's on this call live, I want you guys to be the first ones to do this, and everyone who watches this recording, I want you to do the same. The next opportunity that you have to serve, whether it is related to Isagenix or not, next like need you see that you fill, I want you to post in the Best Life Biz Facebook group, success, and I want you to say what you did, right? Like humble brag, right? Success.
Humble brag, I love that.
Starbucks in front of me because they looked like they had a weekend, right? like success. I don't even know, right? I unloaded the dishwasher even though it was my husband's turn. Whatever it is, find something as quickly as you can in the next 24 hours and serve them, right? Cool. Find a need and fill it. And if you can find 5 needs to fill in the next 12 hours, 24 hours, do it. But I want to see us post in that group and humble. Here's what I did. So everyone on the call, do that. When you watch the recording, people, do that too. Because I think it'll be cool just to see, like, we've got some awesome serving people on our team. We are all successful every day in different ways. And I think
yeah. A big takeaway from yesterday too, as far as what the message was, the centralized message was the give, and then you can ask, so it might not even be a big ask that you're looking for, but maybe it's just asking them permission to be able to share Isagenix. So Lauren, like in your case, like give all you can, and then ask if it's okay for those people who might be getting married at your work, or nurses who are tired on their feet. Ask them if it's okay to share what you do, and share with them why you love it so much. That way it's not so scary, because you've already just given.
Yeah, I like that.
And I would even say, this is something I'm taking for myself, so I'll share it out loud. Understand that if we're truly connected to what Isagenix is and what it does, sometimes us giving and being willing to serve is having the courage to open our mouths and say something that we know could impact a life. Not always. It doesn't always have to go there, but I think Isagenix is a give, not an ask. Truly. So good. So we wanted to just kind of wrap up by represencing that we are going to be doing this little fall reboot. I don't know about all of you, but I am definitely feeling like, for me personally right now, this is something I'm excited to like really jump into. Essentially just like getting my mind back on track. You know, I've been really diving into work stuff, and my self-care has been neglected. So for me, the messaging for just sharing what I'm doing and inviting others along on that journey is going to be very much around like, you know, I can't keep fulfilling my purpose on the earth if I'm not filling my own cup and taking care of the vessel that allows me to do that. So we want you to spend some time this week. And if you're not clear on what it is that we are going to be doing as far as just the campaign launching in the product group, we're calling it 11-day reboot. More content will be coming out this week. This is kind of our prep week and inviting week. And then as far as like the content that'll be posted and the fun, will start a week from tomorrow. If you're not clear on that, or if you want some help just kind of brainstorming how to work that in and bring it up with people, we are here. We want to do that with you. But I would really encourage each of you to think it through in terms of where are you at in life right now? How does it relate to you? How can you make it like part of your personal story? Because then it's engaging to invite people along on that journey with you, rather than like you're trying to get them to like join something. So for me, that it's like just really clear how I'm feeling and how I'm gonna be sharing that naturally as part of my everyday life. So that is kicking off on the 17th. Anything else you wanted to say about that, Jen, or in general you wanted to wrap up with?
I would just say the 11-day reboot here is a huge opportunity in the next few days to be either re-engaging conversations with people or starting new conversations, because people like to be a part of something. And like Lindsay said, find the angle that is for you. And if the angle that you see someone else using is like, oh, that resonates with me, go ahead and use that angle for yourself too. The point is communicate in a way that's authentic to you, and communicate in a way that aren't just numbers, that you are really thinking, I thought of you because. So we'll have fun with some messaging tips probably tomorrow, about, you know, how you can really leverage the 11-day reboot, some things that have worked for us, you know, whether it be texting templates or just kind of language hacks around that. But the reality is it's that finding a need and filling it. So Lauren, and what you were just talking about, the 11-day thing might be a really easy in to start some of those conversations with people. So I think it's good. Every time we have done something like this, I've seen a huge spike in my business. And so, but that's because I put the time in. I time block to think about who should I talk to, and I talk to them. And I put a few other things aside for, you know, kind of there's usually like a 3 or 4 day period where it's like reach out, reach out, reach out. I put other things aside for those few days because I know it matters and that it's going to produce results and it's going to grow the community.
So good. Anything else? Comments, questions?
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Okay, well, we love you all and value you so much. I just can't say it enough. And be watching the Facebook group. Let us know how we can support. There's puppy wrestling going on in Mary's apartment if you need some entertainment. And cannot wait to just see what we create as a community over the next 90 days and beyond. Bye, everybody.
Bye.